Hey everyone, thanks for coming back for another spoiler-free review. Today's review, right off of my Stephen King bookshelf, Misery by Stephen King. This novel is about a writer named Paul Sheldon. And Paul Sheldon has recently finished what he believes will be the final installment in a series of romance novels that have made him a super famous author. Paul Sheldon is driving through the mountains on his way to Los Angeles, and he wrecks his car. He goes right over a cliff in a drunken stupor. He shatters his legs in these snow-capped mountains. He's stuck in his car at the bottom of an embankment, and he's just basically going to wait there to die because he can't get out of his car with his legs shattered. Along comes local psychopath and fangirl Annie Wilkes. Annie Wilkes is coming through that area shortly after Paul runs his vehicle off the road, and she rescues him, or so he thinks. Annie takes Paul to her home. She's a big fan of Paul, by the way. She is obsessed with his romance series, Misery. While Annie has Paul in her home, she very quickly realizes that Paul is going to kill off the main character, Misery, that she is so fanatic about, and she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it at all. So she imprisons Paul in her home in a spare bedroom. She gives him a big typewriter, and she encourages him to write the story in a way that she sees fit. And I'm going to stop it right there because I don't want to spoil the plot in this novel. But I will tell you that Annie puts Paul through a lot in that room. And Stephen King does a great job in this novel of making a suspenseful atmosphere in such a limited setting. 90% of the novel, I would say, takes place in this bedroom. And just a couple of characters throughout the majority of this novel. King does a great job with just two characters, a limited setting, super suspenseful, brilliant, brilliant. I give this book 4 stars, a strong 4 stars out of 5. There are great characters in this novel. We get to know Paul Sheldon very intimately, Annie Wilkes, this crazed lunatic that has him locked up in her house, held prisoner so that he can write this book for her. She is a really good personality. King does a great job describing her, and it's just brilliant, and I'll leave it right there. I give this book 4 stars out of 5. There's a lot of great dialogue between Annie and Paul in here. She is just so out there and so crazy. I caught myself smiling and even chuckling as I read, as he develops this lunatic's personality throughout this novel. I give it 4 stars out of 5. There's a lot of just almost demonic stuff that happens in this room. I really loved it. I was hooked on this book. I read it in 3 days, I believe. I made a quick readout of this one. There's a film that was made. Kathy Bates plays Annie Wilkes in the film. She does a fabulous job. There are some differences between the film and the novel. She also plays Dolores Claiborne, which is another Stephen King novel that was made into a movie. This is a great novel. The characters are great. The dialogue is good. It's not boring. It doesn't drag. It's a fast-paced, suspenseful novel. Stephen King does a great job in this one. 4 stars out of 5 on this novel. I strongly, strongly recommend Misery by Stephen King.